Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eastwood for Life fan, and I have received a package all the way from the Netherlands from a well-known YouTuber. Goes by the name of CinemaniacSeventy7, and for those who know him, we know him as Donny. And he has sent me this package where a couple of months ago I sent him a package of spaghetti western movies to beef up his collection, and in return he wanted to know a few titles from my wanted list of a package to send to me, and I actually forgot what he could have sent. So let's get through the package, and I will leave the link to Donny's great channel, CinemaniacSeventy7. If you haven't subscribed to his awesome channel, you are missing out. Definitely one of the top collectors within the YouTube community. And I will also leave the link to the package that I sent to him. So let's get through this package and see what he has sent us. It took about a week for this package to arrive, which is pretty good. It came in good nick, plenty of padding. Always seems to be like movie collectors always know how to send and package items. So he went to some great trouble with a lot of cardboard and bubble wrap, and he's left me a note. Hi there, Carlos. First of all, I'm very sorry for the delay, and I hope the content of this package is worth the wait. Besides the titles you've requested, I've also added a few surprises, and I really hope you like them. Wishing you and your loved ones all the best, my friend. Take good care and keep on collecting, which is normally a saying that I end my videos. Best regards, Donny, aka CinemaniacSeventy7. So many thanks for the letter there, Donny. So let's get through the items. And he has notes on each package, it seems. This Chuck Norris classic was supposed to be the sequel, because it was shot right after Missing in Action 2, the beginning. But when the producers realised this movie was the better one of the two, they simply renamed them and made the other a prequel to this. So I'm guessing this is Missing in Action. And it is Missing in Action, a Chuck Norris 80s classic, and I've been trying to pick up Chuck Norris action movie titles, and this was a movie that I requested, and I will definitely want to pick up the other Missing in Action movies. Chuck Norris Missing in Action, I think this one's directed by Joseph Zito. Many thanks for sending this title, Missing in Action. James Braddock. Been a while since I've actually seen Missing in Action. These movies came out after the, more or less after the Rambo movies. So Missing in Action, that's the first item that CinemaniacSeventy7 has sent. The fantastic Lee Van Cleef, John Philip Law Western, Death Rides a Horse, also known as From Man to Man, which is literally the translation of the Italian title. And I did send Donny a Death Rides a Horse German digipack release, which I also have. But Donny actually informed me in a message that the Kino release of Death Rides a Horse has the perfect ratio right towards the end of the film. And I think he said that the German one, which I haven't checked out, the ratio differs. So this is supposed to be the best release on Blu-ray of this spaghetti western Lee Van Cleef classic, Death Rides a Horse. And actually I did want to pick this one up, as I do have the Wild East DVD version and the German Digipack release. So this is definitely a title off my wanted list. Many thanks for sending this one. Definitely one of the best spaghetti westerns that Lee Van Cleef appeared in. And in my opinion, Lee Van Cleef was probably the top spaghetti western actor, as he made many spaghetti westerns. So Death Rides a Horse, many thanks for sending this one. And this one says Walter Hill, brilliant Revolutions western, The Long Riders, starring actual brothers, the Keaches, the Carradines, Quaids and guests. The latter almost wasn't cast in this film because Jeff and Beau Bridges was originally supposed to play the Ford brothers, but they were too busy with other projects. Many thanks for putting bits of info on these titles, which, if you'd seen some of the packages that I've sent to Donnie, I always put a note with each title, and it looks like that Donnie has done a similar thing. So I know this one's The Long Riders, which is a classic western directed by Walter Hill, and just recently has had a better release. The Long Riders, a great American western, and this is the US release of this movie, and it's far better than the other releases of this great western put out by Kino. And this release has a whole lot more features. So this was a western that I requested, The Long Riders. Great American western, highly recommended. Badly needed this one in my collection. So many thanks for sending out The Long Riders. Great Walter Hill movie. And here is Killer Caliber 32, one of the many spaghetti westerns that stars Peter Lee Lawrence, who died way too young, as he was only 30 years old, and also stars French actress Agnes Spack, who made another Italian western with Lawrence called Death on a High Mountain, which I do have. And this is the first time this spaghetti western has been released on Blu-ray, and this one I think is a German release. Yep, I do have this on the Wild East label, which is a DVD version. So this is the first time that this spaghetti western has been put on Blu-ray, and it does come with a English audio. Peter Lee Lawrence made many spaghetti westerns, and this was another requested item. And I hope, Donnie, that you also picked this title up, Killer Caliber 32. And The Sand Pebbles is an excellent war drama that earned Steve McQueen his one and only Oscar nomination for Best Actor, which is very true. A lot of people said that Steve McQueen wasn't that great of an actor, as a lot of the time he always used to shorten a lot of the dialogue in his movies. And this is a great Steve McQueen movie, a war movie. Steve McQueen with Richard Attenborough, Richard Crenna and Candice Bergen. And I saw this a while back and I was surprised how well Steve McQueen handled himself in a more of a dramatic role in this movie, The Sand Pebbles. Definitely Steve McQueen's one of his finest acting roles in The Sand Pebbles. Great war movie this. And this also was a requested item. God, Dolly's definitely sent me quite a few items. Slapshot is the third collaboration between Paul Newman and director George Roy Hill after The Sting and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Newman said that of all the movies he had done, this is his favourite one. And this release is, I think, is a new release that got released a few months ago. And I do love this movie. Not a big fan of ice hockey, but this one is definitely a fun movie. Ice hockey, the last word in blood sports. Actually, this one's kind of like a comedy. Paul Newman in this ice hockey team, and this is a new release put out by Final Cut. And this will go into my Paul Newman collection. Slowly getting a few more of his movies. Fine actor, Paul Newman. And I know that CinemaniacSeventy7 is a big Paul Newman fan also, so I hope you picked this new release of Slapshot on Blu-ray. Here is the Dutch Western Brimstone, which is known as a stampot Western. Stampot is a traditional Dutch dish of mashed potatoes with kale and smoked sausages, and that sounds tasty. I like to call the movie a religious slasher Western. Now there's something you don't see every day. And actually this Western caught my interest through a review that CinemaniacSeventy7 Donnie did on his channel. I've never heard of this Western. I know it's got Guy Pearce, Australian actor, and I requested the Dutch version of this movie because the director was Dutch. And actually, for some strange reason, there's been a delay in bringing this movie out to the UK. The only releases of this movie was the Dutch version and the American version, and I heard that this was the better version. I think that's the actor who played Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, it looks like to me, but a very unusual Western, and I definitely want to check this movie out. A slasher religious Western. Guy Pearce, a very good actor. Who would have thought that after he appeared in the soap, the Australian soap of Neighbours years ago, is now a top actor. Brimstone. Still got a few goodies left. And Marty is a lovely film that won an Academy Award for Best Picture 1955, starring Ernest Borgnine. Delivers a fine Oscar-winning performance as a title role. So I would guess that this is a freebie that CinemaniacSeventy7 put in. Fine actor, Ernest Borgnine. And I haven't seen this movie, so definitely will check this one out. I've actually heard of this movie, and he looks quite young in this movie, Ernest Borgnine. And funny thing is about Ernest Borgnine, I always remembered him as a kid watching his movies, and he always used to get killed off in a lot of movies, and definitely a very underrated actor, Ernest Borgnine. So many thanks for putting this freebie in the package, Donnie. I definitely will check this one out. as I do like Ernest Borgnine, fine actor. And this one is, here's an addition to your Sergio Leone collection. Before he wrote history with A Fistful of Dollars, Leone made his directorial debut with The Colossus of Rhodes, an epic, spectacular film with Rory Calhoun, who starred in countless westerns, mainly from the 1950s. I have heard of these this earlier Sergio Leone movie, so that is awesome to be checking something more of his earlier work, as Sergio Leone, definitely one of my favourite directors. But he was a director, Italian director, who never made loads and loads of movies. The Colossus of Rhodes, early Sergio Leone movie, this one. Commentary by film historian Christopher Fralin. He's a spaghetti western expert. Never seen this movie before, so I'm happy to be checking the early Sergio Leone movie. Many thanks for that one, Donnie. Here is a surprise DVD of the underrated Giallo, The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. This is an out-of-print DVD. Was produced by No Shame, the company that went bankrupt in 2006. No Shame was an American label that put out a lot of the Italian Eurocrime movies and Giallo movies. A film directed by Sergio Martino. I have heard of this movie, starring George Hilton, who made many spaghetti westerns and many Italian movies. And the No Shame titles are quite expensive, because they used to put loads and loads of features and booklets. They used to go all out on their releases, so many thanks for sending this title out. I think there is a Blu-ray release of this one, I'm not sure. I'll definitely check that one out. And I think there's a few more. And this is another western, Jewel in the Sun. I've heard of this movie but never seen this one. Jennifer Jones, Gregory Peck and Joseph Cotton, another actor who done quite a lot of Italian movies. We'll be checking this one out. So this is another freebie. Many thanks for this one. I have heard a lot of the westerns in the 50s and early 60s I haven't seen. A lot of the westerns that I have seen are obviously spaghetti westerns, and the American westerns were mid-60s onwards, because I did prefer the more violent westerns. But I've kind of mellowed out in my tastes and been watching a lot more of the softer westerns. So Jewel in the Sun is another one I'll be checking. And there's one more package. Because you lost my contest, here's your consolation prize. I hope you're happy with. And I didn't, you didn't really have to do that, Donnie, but I was happy to enter your contest, because a lot of the guys that I follow, I always try to support, watch their videos and try to enter contests to, support someone's channel, and it was fun in doing so. So you didn't really have to add this one in. Man, you didn't have to do that. This is one of the Wild East titles that I am missing. The Man from Nowhere. Shit. And actually, before I became pretty good friends with Donnie, I actually tried to send a price to buy this one, because this was a missing Wild East title, even though there is another. They've renamed this. There's two titles in this movie: The Man from Nowhere and Arizona Colt, which a lot of people would have, but I'm trying to complete my Wild East collection, and I'm about 4 titles missing, and this was a missing title. And this DVD actually goes for shitloads of money. So I am very surprised, Donnie, that you have sent this title. You didn't have to do that, but Giuliano Gemma movie, I've been after this title for a long time, and you have sent this to me. I am very surprised that you did. You didn't have to do that, but many thanks. I am a bit lost for words, because this can go from up to $80 and well into the $100 mark, The Man from Nowhere, as this is out of print. So many thanks for sending this extra item, Donnie, and the items have arrived in good condition. Many thanks for the package, and I'll do like a little overview of what you have sent. So here are the titles that CinemaniacSeventy7 sent to me. The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward, Jewel in the Sun, and these were freebies. The Man from Nowhere, a out of print Wild East title that I have been trying to get for quite a few years. You didn't have to send that one, Donnie. That is a massive surprise, as I now only need 3 to complete my Wild East collection. You didn't have to send that one, but well, I'm glad that you did, but because it is worth a lot in value. The Colossus of Rhodes, Marty, so those 5 DVD titles were freebies. Walker Hill Classic, The Long Riders, Caliber 32, The Sand Pebbles, Slapshot, Brimstone, a Dutch Western, Death Rides a Horse, and Missing in Action. A great package, Donnie. Many thanks for sending these items out with my requested items and freebies, and love the package, and many thanks. And guys, please do check CinemaniacSeventy7, one of the top collectors within the YouTube community, no doubt, and you guys will sub to him once you check out one of his videos, I'm sure of that. So guys, till the next video, take care, stay healthy, and keep on collecting.